This is a 14.5-inch premium car Android tablet that's going to upgrade any of your old vehicles with new technology, including Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Stay with me in this video if you've ever thought about upgrading your old boring entertainment system to something a little bit newer. I'm going to talk to you guys about all the new features that's included in this system and why it may be a perfect choice for you if you've ever been on the fence and can't decide whether you want to put an Android tablet in your vehicle. Stay with me in this video, let's talk about it, and I'll show you why this may be a perfect fit for you. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Deanin It Yourself. If it's your first time here, welcome of course. And to all my long-time subscribers, you guys know the drill, welcome back. Alright guys, today I'm going to be reviewing this 14.5-inch Android tablet from a company called MergeScreens. If you guys haven't already seen my previous video with the previous generation, take a look. There's going to be a pop-up somewhere around here where I go through the features that the old one had and actually, more importantly, how to install it. Now, first of all, let me get this out the way. I'm not sponsored by the company that sent this to me. They reached out to me saying that they had a new version. They saw my previous video and they asked me if I'd like to test it out. So I jumped at the opportunity and said, hey, why not? So I figured I'd do a review for you guys to show you guys the difference between this version, the older version, and the features that this one has that the old one doesn't have that separates it from the previous versions. I want to point out that if you've ever installed or seen my video about the previous Android systems, you know that the guts of these things are pretty much the same. Different vendors sell them and they call them different variations, but they're all the same. This one is from a company called MergeScreens, and I'm going to do the review for you guys and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about it. As usual, I'll leave links in the description and I'll leave timestamps for all the portions of this video. So if you guys want to jump from a section to a different section, you guys feel free to do it. But I encourage you to stay through the whole video because I'm going to touch on different aspects of this one and talk to you about the pros and cons and also walk you through the tutorial of what's included inside the box and what you can expect if you guys decide to pull the trigger on this. Now, the version that I have here is for an F-150 because of course that's what I have. However, if you go to their website and you are in the market and you're thinking about putting an Android system in your older vehicle from 2000, I believe 2004, all the way up to 2021, they have a solution for you. It's not just for the Ford, it's not just for the Ford F-150, but you have the Ford Focus, you have the Mustang, you have, if you have an Audi, BMW, Toyota, GMC, Chevy, whatever you have, they make screens that will upgrade your entertainment system to something awesome with this big style screen, like a Tesla style screen. The features are going to be the same across all of the manufacturers, no matter which one you choose. The only difference is they're going to have a little bit of a different style and the installation may be different, but the guts and the performance are all going to be the same. So I'm going to break this video up for you guys into a couple different parts. First, I'm going to talk to you guys about the components, what's included inside the box and what you can expect. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about the differences. This version is running Android 13. The previous version that I had in my truck was running Android 11. So I'm going to compare the differences between the old version and the new version. And trust me, there's some key differences that's going to separate this from a bunch of the others. The most important thing about these screens from these manufacturers is that if you have a specific software on your car, like in the Ford, they have the sync system. This integrates into the sync system. So you don't lose any of your factory presets and your factory settings, including if you have like a trailer tow or heated seats, massage seats, all the functions will work the same as it was with the stock radio or your stock infotainment system. So let's get that out the way. And again, I'll dive more into that as we get further along. Like I said, I'm going to break this thing up. I'm going to show you guys what's included in the box, the differences between the Android 11 and the Android 13. And then I'm going to give you guys a brief look at what it looks like in my truck with the new interface. And after that, I'll come back. We'll talk about the pros and cons a little bit. And I'll give you a little bit more detail of the manufacturer and the guys who sent this to me. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let's see what's included inside this box. All right, once you guys open the box, you're going to be greeted with a bunch of stuff here. but I'm going to walk you guys through each and every one of the components so you guys can get a better feel of it. Of course, here is the infotainment system already. It's 14.5 inches, and this is going to look awesome in your car. If you notice here, you're going to have two options. One is for manual air conditioning, and the other one is for auto. So the one that you're going to have a bracket here, as you can see, the one that's mounted on this radio is for auto aircon. If you have manual controls, this is the one that you're going to have to use, and it attaches to the radio. So that's that. That's why they send you these two. Also, working our way from left to right, you can see here you have the CAN bus and you have the main wiring harness. This integrates your radio with your factory. If you have a sync system or any other proprietary system to your vehicle, this is what integrates it as well. It also comes with a SIM card extractor, a bunch of different SIM card adapter kits, and some screws. The SIM card adapter kit works with your radio because this radio actually can use a SIM card, so you don't need to use your phone's data. You can have an actual external SIM card that you pay for, whether it's T-Mobile. I use tello.com for mine, but you can choose whichever one you want so you can have internet capabilities on your radio at all times. Again, they send you a GPS antenna, microphone here. This is a speaker. For the most part, in most vehicles, you're not going to need your speaker or this because the radio has a factory microphone built into the radio that can that you'll be able to use whenever you want to make calls or give commands to your radio. It also has some blank plates here for your radio. If you can see on the top, the buttons that come on your radio will go into this spot here, and they provide some blanks just in case you don't need to use all three. Here we have a USB cable. This is what you're going to use to connect external USB devices as well as to upgrade the software on your radio. It comes with a set of 4G antennas. This is your SIM card tray. Your SIM card goes in here and this plugs into your radio. As well, you have another wiring harness that connects, I believe this is for the GPS. And here you have another wiring harness that will go to external cameras, or if you have an external DVD player that you want to output your video to, this is what this cable is for. On my radio, this is going to be the interface that interfaces the radio to the sync module. So this is, you're going to need this if you have a Ford. Provided in the box, they also provide instruction manual, of course, and a warranty card, which is good because a lot of these companies don't provide it, but there's one. Now, if you haven't seen my previous video, go check it out, and I will go over in detail the full installation of this system. I'm not going to cover it in this video because I've done it already. So if you want to see how to install it in the F-150, go check out that video. Again, it might pop up here. If not, it's going to be in the description. Now that you guys know what's included in the box whenever you purchase one of these Android systems, now we're going to talk about the differences between the old system, which was Android 11, and the new system, which is running on Android 13. So, of course, with any new operating system, you can expect a faster boost in performance, and that's exactly what this screen does over the old one. I'm not going to talk to you guys about all the features. I'm going to talk to you guys about the key differences and the ones that stand out more than anything else. So first, we want to talk about the version. Obviously, Android 11 versus Android 13. Why? Android 13 is going to be faster and a much smoother operation. Not that the old one wasn't smooth, but I guess an improvement is an improvement, and that's always a welcome improvement. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Bluetooth protocol. So the old radio, I believe it had Bluetooth 4.0, and this one has Bluetooth LTE, and it has Bluetooth 5, which should give you a much better connection for all your audio streaming and your phone calls. And anything to do with your voice integration with the radio, it should be a better experience and a much faster connection. Another thing that this one has that the old one didn't have is a dual Bluetooth module. So you may be asking, well, why do you need dual Bluetooth? Well, if you have the old radio and you understand that CarPlay uses wireless over Bluetooth protocol, it kind of transfers it, and it could be a little off-putting the first time you try it. This one has two modules, and because of this, now the Bluetooth and the wireless CarPlay won't interfere with each other, and you're going to have much clearer calls whenever you decide to make calls over Bluetooth. The home page is the next thing that got a major improvement. The old page was awesome as well, but the new one has a new integrated map that's on the home screen as you start it up, and we'll talk more about that when I show you the tablet in action inside my vehicle. The next feature that Android 13 has over Android 11 is dynamic wallpapers. The old one didn't, it was just a fixed wallpaper. This one has the ability to have dynamic wallpapers, which will give you a different type of look. If you have an iPhone and you understand what the moving wallpapers are and how dynamic wallpapers work, this has that integrated in Android 13. So that's another added feature that I thought I would point out to you guys. The next feature we're going to talk about is the daytime and nighttime mode. Now, the old Android had day and night mode that you could switch, and it would switch with the dimming of your lights. This has that feature as well, but it also follows the time of day. So it can actually dim at a preset time, whether it's sunset, sundown, or sunrise. It knows the difference and it will automatically change as well. Of course, the next feature, wireless CarPlay. This has it, the old one has it. Now with the faster processor and Android 13, I expect this process and I expect this experience to be a better experience. Not that the old one was a bad experience, but again, with the introduction of new technology and stuff like that, I'm expecting this to be a little bit better of an experience. Next, we're going to talk about Android Auto. Of course, this has Android Auto. The previous version, Android 11, also had Android Auto, but this one has wireless and wired Android Auto. I wish I would have that for CarPlay, but they don't. But we can always talk about that. It doesn't matter. You can still use wired CarPlay. You would just have to use the factory sync interface to go between wired CarPlay. But yeah, so Android Auto, CarPlay included. Lastly, we're going to talk about front and backup cameras. Now, the old one didn't have this feature. It could integrate with your rear camera. It had outputs for it. This radio has it where you now can have the capability of doing front, rear, backup cameras, and the DVRs that integrate into the screen. So if you have a dash cam or a DVR cam or something like that, this will integrate into it and work perfectly. Those are the key features I wanted to talk to you guys about. Of course, one of the main questions that everybody asks me, which is usually the sticking point, is the boot up time. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys and put it to the test here in a little bit, but I'm assuming that with the new version of Android, the boot up times are going to be improved. So if you guys haven't seen my last video, go check it out. I show you guys the time it takes for the car to start up and how long it takes to boot up before the radio is fully functional. But it wasn't bad at all, and I've gotten used to it. I've had this for over a year and it's still worked perfectly and everything is working fine. All right, now we're going to go and jump into the vehicle. I'll show you guys what this thing looks like once it's installed. Then I'll come back, talk about the pros and the cons, and I'll go over some of the questions and concerns that I've received in the past. Also, don't forget, if you enjoy the content, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot and I really do appreciate it. Once I've showed you guys what this thing is like in action, I'm going to come back and please leave a comment or questions, anything you want to know about this radio, leave it in the comment section below. If you have this radio and you have their features that you wish you had but you don't have, let me know. I'll reach out to the manufacturer. They always enjoy the feedback. So yeah, keep it coming, keep the questions coming. Now let's go look at this thing in action and then let's get back and talk about it. So now I'm in the car and the first thing I want to do is let's run a timer to see how long this thing boots up. Everybody's going to ask me this question, and it's probably one of the most important questions. So let's go ahead, start the truck up, and let's see how long it takes for the radio to boot up so that we can use it. There you go. Looks like it's just under 6 seconds. All right, let's talk about the interface. Just like the old version, you have your whole sync interface here as usual, and everything works the same. You can go through your audio, your climate, your phone, your navigation, all your apps inside your car, the settings. Everything works the same. The sound, the clock, the Bluetooth, the phone, the radio, the navigation, your mobile apps, your general settings. Everything else that you had with your old sync system will be fully integrated. Yes, the USBs work that are down below here. I currently have a USB stick in and you can see it in your sources. Your Sirius will work. Your CD player obviously won't work because you bypassed it, but you have a USB stick here, which I have, and you can access it just like you would if you had it normally. From here, the main interface on the car, you can see it here. It's a little bit different than the old one. In the new one, we now have this map interface that you can search directly in your maps. It's powered by Google Maps, so it's going to work as if you had Google Maps in here. Your apps are all the same, and as you can see, you can download your YouTube, Spotify, Netflix, Disney Plus, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Your Play Store is here. I have SoundCloud, your Sirius XM. If you have a Sirius account, you can access it from the radio here. You don't have to use the sync interface. Up top, everything is the same. You have your navigation as well. It's going to use Google Maps. You can use a full screen map there. You have your music, you have movies, you have your Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, everything else like you had from before. The most important feature, like I've shown you before, is the boot up time, and the speeds of the radio are a little bit faster. So that's one of the performance issues you're going to get when you get with Android 13. And of course, we have our Apple CarPlay. And like you can see here, I have my phone. It's in wireless CarPlay here. And this just mirrors your phone as if you had CarPlay before. If you guys have ever used CarPlay or Android Auto, it works the same way. You can go through here and see all your apps. You can use Apple Maps. You can use Apple Music, your podcasts, whatever you have on here. If you have Spotify, Pandora, everything else will work just the same as if you did whenever you had your original factory radio. And all these apps work just like regular wired CarPlay. All right, with that, if you guys want to see how I customize this radio and use Nova Launcher, you can check out my other video. I'll show you guys how to set it up, and I'm going to set this one up just the same. And don't forget, if you want to pick up this radio, there's a link in the description, and there might be one on the screen showing you a coupon code that you guys can get. It's worth it so far. I had the last one for over 2 years and it worked just fine. It's flawless. I haven't had any issues with it. All the sound works, everything works the same. The Bluetooth functions awesome. And again, the selling point for me on this was that you got to retain all your sync features. Now we can go ahead and wrap this thing up, and I'll talk to you guys about the pros and cons and if you guys should get this radio or not. Also, remember, in mine, I have, if you can see up here, I have a SIM card that's in my glove box. This radio accepts a SIM card for 4G LTE. The company that I use, I did it online. It's a company called Tello. I'm not affiliated with them. I know you guys are going to ask, but it works fine. I get good signal, and I think it's like, I want to say 10-15 bucks a month for data, and that's all I need, so I can use my radio without having to have my phone connected to it. Now, of course, you can use your phone as a wireless hotspot, so that is also another option. So if you guys are interested in doing that, it will work just the same. All right, guys, welcome back. Now, you saw this thing in action, and it's time to wrap it up, and let me tell you guys what I think about it and if it's something that I think you guys should go ahead and get. Well, first of all, the boot up time is super fast. It's as fast, if not a little bit faster than the Android 11 version, which was kind of surprising to me. But I think after using it for a while, the boot time is probably going to go down a little bit because I guess it has a memory where it kind of loads some stuff in the background and then boots up. My original boot up was, I think, 4.5 seconds, somewhere around there. And this was about the same. As I test it more, I'll be able to tell you guys in future videos how this thing is performing and how it stands up in comparison to my older unit. The big question that you're going to ask is, should I go ahead and get this? First of all, I don't know if you can get the Android 11s anymore. If you can, I would suggest pick one up. You might be able to get a discount because for the most part, all the features are the same. The most important thing that I've encountered when using this thing, and the things that matter to me mostly, is the boot up time and the wireless Apple CarPlay. As long as those were dependable and they function correctly, I was happy. And obviously there's added features such as the 4G LTE network and the SIM capabilities, which I use, you may not use, but those work great, and I assume they're going to work great on this one as well. So the short answer is yes. if you have the funds and you want to pick one up, get one. It's a newer model, so it's going to come with a little bit more features, and the integrated map on the home screen, it works with Google, so it's probably something that you guys are going to actually use. So thumbs up. So far it's looking good, so I'm gonna go ahead and test it, and maybe after a couple months I'll do another review to tell you how I'm liking the radio and how it's holding up. If there's any other comments or questions that you want to know about it, leave it down in the comments below and I'll go ahead and address them whenever I get to. I try to read all my comments, and I stay up to date with them, usually daily, so I'll get back to you if you have a question. Again, I'll leave links in the description to the MergeScreens version that I'm using. And remember, there are also a bunch of different other options. I may be able to leave links for you again if you can't find it or it's out of stock or something like that. Just check the links below, everything will be there. Now remember, this isn't only for the F-150. If you have a Dodge, Chevy, GMC, Lexus, they make screens for all different vehicles. So go ahead and check them out. If you stumble across this video, it may be something that's interesting to you and that's helpful to you. With that said, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was a review of the MergeScreen Android 13 version of the F-150 14.5-inch display. And if you like it, you know where to get it. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video.